Hey there, macro folks. This is Mr. Hooker, and this is video number 2 of Consumer and Producer Surplus. Let's get into it. So, equity and efficiency. So, efficiency is important. You'll see a lot of people out there claim that they are efficiency people. Um, but we also care about equity. So, you've seen that recently with the whole 99 and 99 versus the 1%. And then recently in Paris and other parts of France, you had the manifestations. I actually got caught up in Paris in the manifestations. That was some interesting times. It was kind of fun until it wasn't, until the violence started. That was like the day before we left, though. The rest of it was kind of fun to watch. The trash part wasn't, but other parts were. Um, but you got to watch out about that. So the equity thing becomes a problem. We've seen some issues with that here recently in the U.S. People are starting to care more about equity. That they're starting to feel like equity is not what it should be. We need to move more toward equitable things. But so sometimes societies choose to have governments intervene in markets to increase equity, even though it reduces some efficiencies. Um, and like recently with the mayoral election in New York, that guy won on a platform that basically said, I'm going to reduce some efficiencies, but we're going to make things a little more fair. And people voted him in overwhelmingly. So that kind of goes with that. So why do markets typically work so well? Well-functioning markets are effective because of property rights and economic signals. So if you have well-defined property rights and good economic signals, and by good economic signals, we mean the rationing function of prices are working. So people know what the prices are, the prices are stable, and so what's happening is uh, you go to the store, the good that you buy is price X today. It's pretty much price X tomorrow. It's pretty much price X next week. Like it could go up a nickel, a dime, whatever, but it's not doubling. Like if you remember when COVID started and eggs doubled, people lost their flipping minds. So that's because we had a breakdown on economic signals. I mean, there's some reasons behind why the price doubled and good economic reasons on that. But that caused people to kind of freak out. Same thing's happening with houses right now, and Matt Hill from Econ Nerds has a really good video on this. But it's a crazy housing market all over the country right now because A, people can't afford to buy houses, and B, people can't afford to sell houses. And normally it's either a buyer's market or a seller's market, but right now it's not a buyer's or a seller's market. And so it's nobody's market right now. So it's kind of crazy how that all works. Property rights are the rights of owners of valuable items, whether resources or goods, to dispose of those items as they choose. Oops, my bad. So private property rights create and protect incentives to trade with others and to innovate. So if you don't believe that you can keep the profits of your innovation, we lose innovation. So that whole thing happens. Um, so an economic signal, any piece of information that helps people make better economic decision. The most important signal in the market economy is price, because they convey the information about other people's costs and our willingness to pay. So that's the number one economic signal is prices. I'm not going to do that. Words of caution. Markets aren't always efficient. Sometimes they fail. When markets are inefficient, there are missed opportunities. Some people would be made better off without making other people worse off. When a market is inefficient, we have market failure. And I'm pretty sure nobody has cried about market failure. It happens kind of often, but nobody cries about that. So anytime the market fails to reach the optimal output, we have market failure. If the government gets involved and fails to move us closer to the optimal output, we have government failure. People will be mad about government failure. Nobody is upset about market failure because that's on us. But government failure ticks people off. Okay? So markets can fail due to market power when a firm has the ability to raise market price, due to externalities like pollution or subsidies or things like that. So actions have side effects on the welfare of others. They can fail when the nature of the good makes it unsuitable for efficient allocation. Public goods, common resources, private information, stuff like that. Moral hazard, adverse selection. So we'll learn more about all that in future chapters. So that's a whole thing. And that's all we got. So I will see y'all in chapter 5. Take care, people.